What would make a man so wealthy, so influential, come to the conclusion, don't give me poverty, don't give me riches? Well, I think because poverty and riches have the ability of amplifying things about us, but they also push us to do things either that we love doing, things that are right, or things that are wrong. They are both attractors, they are both revealers of the intents of man. Give a man poverty and they will fight, do everything that they can to preserve themselves. Give a man wealth and they will still desire to do things that are within their heart. So dear friends, to choose between the two, what would you choose? Poverty or riches? Sup everybody, my name is Steve, but you can call me Steve the Rev, and I'm here again, once again, with another proverb of the day. What a beauty. Now, listen, I share with you daily a verse from the book of Proverbs so that you can go back and read that whole chapter. Why? By doing so, you'll grow in wisdom and thrive in life. But every time you're opening the words of God, you will see the Son of God. You will see Jesus. God will reveal himself to you. For many of you that don't have clarity concerning different matters, this is where you start. You get to listen to read a proverb a day. You grow in wisdom and you grow closer to God. You get to know him slowly but surely. Now, isn't that a beauty? All right, now are you ready? Let's go. I mean, right now, let's go. Okay. Today's proverb is Proverbs chapter 30, verse 9. But verse 9 doesn't make sense when you don't go at least 2 verses back. So I will read from 7 to 9. And this is what it says. 2 things I request of you. Deprive me not before I die. Remove falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food allotted to me. Why? Lest I be full and deny you and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and profane the name of my God. So my point of focus is on verse 9, which says, lest I be full and deny you and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and profane the name of my God. When I was reading this verse, I was taken aback. I was taken to many times I've experienced people at their time of wealth and at their time of loss. The time of loss can humble you. It's so humbling. I mean, it makes you just feel like, oh my goodness. It makes you aware of your inefficiencies. It makes you aware of the things that you're not doing well. It makes your relationships harder. What is a relationship without giving? What is a relationship without money? It makes you dependent on people and God. Now, as good as that is, it's also not so good, because on the other hand, it can push you. It pushes you to the wall. I know when I was growing up, I made a very bad decision. Very, very bad when I was growing up as a young man. So my family was going through hard times. These were very hard times. Imagine when you've come from being a family that has everyone go to the best schools in the land, and then within a flip of time, due to a bad financial decision along the way, you end up very broke, that even the school that you're going to, you're having free education. Like the owner of the school just decided, you know what, you guys, given the state of things concerning you, you guys just come and study from the school for free. No, that wasn't cool. Now, back in the day, my parents my mom used to give us, we were 4 children, used to give us 200 shillings. And every one of us had 50 shillings. Now, 50 shillings was to provide you with the snack of the day. Back then, it would get you 3 sticks of cassava, 3 pieces of cassava, just about this long, 3 of them. So that would be your breakfast. Would be tidy if you get hungry. But one of the things I did during that time is I stole. I stole from one of my friends. You know, when you're broke, one of the things that you do when you're at school, hey, don't start getting funny on me now. When you're broke and you're at school, one of the things that you'll do is you will find ways of being friends with the people that seem to have an abundance with them. So I had one of his friends, and really I didn't get me that friend. It was really the grace of God. But I took the grace of God even at that time in vain. Amidst a lot of lack, I didn't have money, I was hungry. Do you know what I did? I stole money from my friend. What a shock. The guy that usually buys for me grab. The guy that usually shares his stuff with me. I took his money. Yeah, I will not take you through the details. I was soon found out. But that's what poverty does. It takes you to a place where you're below the standards of God, below the standards of what God intended or desired for you. You end up disgracing the name of the Lord. So, with that said, poverty is not good. It goes, I don't even need to tell you. Poverty will deprive you of a sense of identity. You will end up growing in a slum you don't want to be in, end up having children in a place where you don't want them, education, in countries that you don't want to be, poverty. But also the poverty can be here, right here, between your head. So when that poverty permeates and goes to every area of your life, you're in trouble. I don't need to talk about poverty because many people are well acquainted with that. Most of the world is poor, not wealthy. But it doesn't mean that the grace of God has not been poured out for all. It has. But now let's switch it. In comes wealth. Wealth is such a revealer. It is an amplifier. It is like the Holy Spirit. It simply amplifies what is already there. People say, oh, I will be a blessing to people when I have money. No. You've been stingy. When you're broke, you're going to be stingy when you're wealthy. It reveals what is inside there. You've been wanting to sleep around with women when you're broke. Now you have money, now you can afford it. Before you couldn't afford it. Now you have a lot of money, you can afford any girl. You are not excelling at school because, you didn't have money. Or you are not cutting school because you didn't have money. Now you have money, you can pay off your examiners to give you a grade that you didn't work for. Riches. That's what riches do. But unfortunately, there are so many promises in the Bible that the Lord makes concerning being wealthy. One of the things that happens when people get wealthy is that they deny God. They forget their maker. They forget the one who brought them to where they are. They forget. That's why you see that in areas where you have a lot of wealth going on, there's also a lot of sin going on. And there's a lot of unbelief in God going on. There's a lot of distaste and a disdain for the name of the Lord. Why? People get full and they soon forget. Bishop Dag has a book about those who forget. Those who forget their maker. Those who forget the one who took them through the times when they didn't have a meal to eat. Those who forget the one who took them through bouts of sickness. I have a friend, serves at my church, one of our disciples, and he has not forgotten. But one of the things that I saw and I realized that I was asking God about him, this gentleman has started serving you, and I know there's a reward for serving you. I was just asking God, what is his reward? What is one of his rewards that he can ably talk about as a result of serving you? And one morning he just shares that he had just stopped experiencing sickness in his family. This is a guy who had so much medicine in his house, and he would ably tell you that he has a pharmacy. Because at any one point there was someone who is sick. It's a headache, a fever, an infection here, an infection there. He starts serving the Lord. And he goes 3 months without having to use the medicine. And now he has thrown out the whole pharmacy. But imagine such a person. They no longer have sickness. They've gone years without sickness, and they soon forget. And they're like, nah, I brought this upon myself. It is by my power. Ain't nobody did this for me. This God was never in the picture, but you forget. That's what people do when they forget. They forget their maker. They forget their protector. You know, one of the things I used to take for granted was journey mercies, being on the road. As a result of my work as a pastor and as a reverend, I get to go to different parts of the world and then different parts of the country. Often when we are in different parts of the country, we are driving, long distances and sometimes a little bit faster than usual. And that exposes you to a sense of danger. Anything can expose you to danger, but traveling for long does that. But I soon realized that the protection is actually from God and not from me. So I'm grateful. It would be wrong for me to forget that even the protection that I have is from God. Simply because I'm wealthy, simply because I can afford a car, simply because I can afford a good European car. Very stupid of me to forget. To forget that even the European car in which I put my trust while on the road came from money that I got from the Lord. Because Deuteronomy 8:18, for he teaches me to profit. He teaches me to get wealth, oh yes, that he may establish his covenant as it is to this day. The same was of the Israelites when they were wealthy, they were full. They forgot that there was a God who got them from the land of the Egyptians, took them through a desert. Their clothes were never torn, their shoes were never worn out, they never lacked any food. And as a matter of fact, even when he told them to honor the Sabbath, he gave them twice the supply on the sixth day so that they have more than enough to take them through the next day. And then the supply would still continue, daily provision. Oh, what a God. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. We keep on praying. Give us this day our daily bread. The Israelites were experiencing the daily bread. You and I experience daily bread. Sometimes it feels like it is from our being, our doing. But don't you dare forget, there's a maker. Don't let poverty be in your life. It will make you feel less about who you are. It will make you forget your identity in God. Poverty will make you forget your identity in God. It will humble you, but it will affect you. It will bring you to a point of doing things that princes and sons of the king don't do. Sons of the king don't sleep around to get money. Sons of the king don't steal just to get money. Sons of the king don't do things that are full of corruption. They don't go to witch doctors. They don't look to moons and certain suns and stars for them to get their provision. All of those things have been created by God. But when poverty comes in and sneaks in, it will make you forget your identity. And then when God saves you from that poverty, then you're in the land of abundance. Woe betide thee that you forget who your maker is. The one who got you from the point of poverty, when you could have slept with anyone, and now you can afford to put a shelter over your head. You can afford to buy food. You can afford to have cheeks on your face. Now I need to tell you, I used to be really chubby when I was young, but I guess times have a way of doing things to us. But I can't forget. It doesn't mean I'm going through a broke season. No, boo. No, dear. I am well provided for. It's just that I've been consistent. I still thank the Lord, for his grace toward me has also been abundant, such that I don't put on weight. You will find the guys that I've been to school with will easily see me and know, yeah, I'm their guy. Why? God has been gracious to me. I don't think me having this consistent weight, while some people have to go to the gym to do this, is something that I've brought upon myself though. Don't let the fame get to you. Don't let people's praises get to you. Don't let anything make you forget your maker. Deuteronomy 8:12. Lest when you have eaten and are full, and have built beautiful houses and dwell in them. Don't forget when you've built that beautiful house. You're dwelling it and you're thinking, I did it. Come on, I did it, fool. Deuteronomy 8:14. When your heart is lifted up and you forget the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. 17, then you say in your heart, my power and the might of my hand have gained me this world. Don't be damned. Nehemiah 25:26, so they ate and were filled and delighted themselves in your pleasures. Nevertheless, they were disobedient and rebelled against you. Wow. Those are the Israelites. When they had, Hosea 13:6, when they had pasture, they were filled. They were filled, and their heart was exalted. Therefore, they forgot me. That's God. And you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth. Why? That he may establish his covenant as it is this day. May we be a people who are wise. May we never forget. Don't ever, I'm not saying, hey, forget, don't be poor, don't be rich, just be there in no man's land. The last bit I just read for you. And you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth. Why? That he may establish his covenant that he swore to your forefathers. You know, there are prayers that have been prayed by your parents. There are prayers that have been prayed by your grandparents. Don't let them be in vain simply because you forget. There are people that prayed for you. There were hands that were laid on you. There were promises that were made to you. There were words that were spoken over you when dedications were made for you in the house of the Lord. Don't be the people that forget your maker. Don't be the person that forgets who your lover is. Your lover is the Lord. He is the one. Don't be swept away by the only little things that you have seen. There's more to God. There's more that you can get, but never forget your maker. Well, allow me to stop right there. People who forget, that's what we've seen with the West. The people who brought the gospel to Africa are now the people fighting against the gospel, to a point that you can't find the Bible in the schools. You can't find the Bible in public offices. You find that people disdain it. But don't be of people that forget. There's a punishment for those who forget. There's diseases that come upon them. There's calamity of all sorts. Do not forget. But you may be one of those, you've not even forgotten. You've never started a relationship with God. You're like, but I've never done anything with God. That's true. You ain't had no relationship with a King of Kings. That's all right. Today is your day. You get to start a new relationship with God. What better way than that? This is what you simply have to say. You have to repeat this prayer after me. Because God wants to do a lot more for you. Deuteronomy 8:18. Forget not the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth. He would like to give you more wealth than you can even think about. So repeat this prayer after me. Dear Jesus, today I can't do life without you. I can't live without you. But I need you to come into my life. I want us to start having a relationship where you are my lead, you are my guide. Take my life, do something significant. I believe with my heart and confess with my mouth that you are Lord. And from today onwards, I declare that I'm your child, that I'm yours, and I'm born again. With that simple prayer, you've made the best decision that you can ever make in your life. Go ahead, believe in the Lord, serve the Lord, and never forget all the good things that he is going to do in your life. Now, the next best thing you're going to do is call or send a WhatsApp message to this number. +256 775 642 449. Or you can just go straight into the link in the description. I have something in there for you. Just go ahead and click on that link. You'll see it, the one asking you if you would like to accept Christ as your Lord and Savior. And once you've clicked on that link, it will take you straight to the WhatsApp chat of the number I read to you. When you've clicked on that link, you just go ahead and send a message. Tell them, hey, Steve the Rev, or you can just abbreviate STR, asked me to come here. I've just accepted Christ as my Lord and Savior. What do I do next? And the person on the other side of that line will will walk you, will open your eyes, will direct you on what to do. That's all. Now, for the rest of you, it's time to go ahead and read the rest of this chapter. Remember, I just share an excerpt, a little verse, so that you can go back and read the whole chapter. Now, how about that? Have yourself a great time. Have yourself a great night. Have yourself a great day, wherever you are. Come on, go ahead and share some comments in the comments section in the chat, so that I know there are real people listening to this. There are real people that are vibing with this. There are real people that are benefiting from this. Bye-bye. Have yourself a great one. See ya. Love ya.